Welcome to your weekly program, BelAhdan, the show that brings you 2014 to your living room. My God, 2013 is over. Thanks God. It's a horrible year. It's long. It is full of a lot of events and national and bad news, economy, and Arab Spring is gone nowhere and all that. So I would like to start 2014 with positive, great stories. We have here a very special guest that really an amazing story about their academy. We have Sheikha Aysha Wazwaz. She is the founder and director of Gems of Light Academy. It's a full university there, Islamic study for women, dedicated for women. And it's amazing that a lot of stories about Muslims and Muslim Americans that we don't hear about it, but that's why our show is very vital. Okay, welcome, Aysha, Sheikha Aysha. I'd like to say Sheikha Aysha or Aysha. How do you? When I stumbled to this academy, and you hear a lot about stories about Muslim school, Sunday school. It's confusing, but when this is a full university credited and also only for women. Mm-hmm. Before we get into that academy, tell us a little bit about you. I know the Wazwaz family. Wazwaz family is like 500 people here in Twin Cities. It's like you have your own zip code. But tell us a little bit about Sheikha Aysha and how did you get into this academy?
My name is Sheikha Aysha Wazwaz. I'm actually part Palestinian from one side, and I was actually born right here in Minnesota. And from one side of the family, from my mother's side, I'm part Native American from the Guarani tribe, and I'm also part German, and I'm also part, my husband is Tunisian, and I'm also part Spanish from Spain. So I'm very multicultural. I grew up in Minnesota, and specifically in North Minneapolis, and then later on I actually studied Islamic studies, specifically Islamic jurisprudence in Alquds University, in Jerusalem. Later I took my master's degree, and right now I'm working on my PhD in Islamic studies. The PhD dissertation is about Islam in the positive Orientalism. And Karen Armstrong...
Positive Orientalism is not contradiction there.
No, positive, because there is positive Orientalism. Okay. And Karen Armstrong as a paradigm.
Okay.
And how I got into this was really because of the different things that Muslim women go through. And I felt that Muslim women are somewhat marginalized within the Muslim community, as women are pretty much marginalized in many communities. Mm-hmm. And I felt that there was a need to actually start an organization that's going to support Muslim women with education and also support them with their needs throughout the different situations that they live in. The different situations that they live in, whether that's for matrimonial services, or whether it's seeking to actually, one day we're hoping to actually get enough donations to start a shelter to help Muslim women in need that may become single parent or maybe just moved from a different country due to the war, or couldn't find a place to be in.
And start a life somewhere.
Of course, start a life somewhere.
But I know I'm interrupting you, but one of the biggest criticism, or some of the things that non-Muslims say about Muslims, especially Muslim Americans, that they don't want to get in the mainstream, and now we are assuming that Muslim women have different issues, different problems. We have institutions to deal with, shelter, and institutions deal with women in general. So tell us a little bit how the issues facing Muslim women are different than mainstream women.
Well, the Muslim women, a lot of times, it is true that a lot of times they tend to be very private. And because Muslim women a lot of times tend to be very private, I think it's very important to actually provide a place where they feel that they're preserving their Islam, and at the same time that they're getting
Or
what
culture.
they need. Culture, Islam, and that's why we're actually open to not just Muslims, but also non-Muslims.
Oh,
Of course. And we do get some non-Muslims that actually come and take Arabic classes or just, see what Islam is about and just,
so they are
just
curious,
sit.
or they have also issues, social issue like Muslim women?
No. Just different things. Some
Oh,
of them.
talking about
The services?
academy, yeah, the service they receive. Do you also accept non-Muslim? Like
Oh, definitely.
I see.
Definitely. Even for family counseling, we do get different phone calls. We do get different phone calls that we would be happy to actually answer the questions. But at the same time, it's definitely, when you actually give the Muslim perspective, and we do get people that say, well, I want to see what Islam actually says about this. I want to, we get some people that say, I've heard what the Jewish perception is, and I
see.
heard the Hindu perception. I want to see what the Muslim perception is. So we basically just tell them what it is.
You are coming in a time. How long this academy been going on?
For 1 year right now.
This is very young.
Very young.
Very young, and you come in a time when you mention Sharia, you fucking out. You don't know. Should I call 911 or should I? So what are the challenges on the macro level?
Exactly. Well, that's what we actually wanted to do, is remove the stereotypes. Remove the stereotypes when it comes to Islam and Muslims. We wanted to remove the stereotypes. So that's why we believe that if you actually teach Islam through moderation, and you teach Islam right, you're actually going to have people, Muslim women, that are able to actually present it right. If you know it right, you can present it right. If you present it right, you're easily going to be breaking away those different stereotypes that have actually generated hate. In order to remove hate, you got to remove ignorance. And that's the toughest thing. That's the toughest thing. But remember, the long steps, it always starts with one at a time.
I have no problem with somebody is ignorant. My problem with somebody is racist or bigots. And ignorance, you can provide them with information. That's what we're dealing with. We don't deal with ignorance. We deal with bigotry. We deal with racism. So how you deal with that?
Well, we do plan to actually have Muslim women that understand Islam and be able to refute a lot of the different stereotyped images that have been going on. And we do plan to actually have Muslim women reach out to schools, universities, prisons, and hospitals to speak about Islam in those places. And at the same time, we do actually plan to go into the different communities to actually explain Islam.
So your students, they study Islam, Sharia, or whatever, and then they graduate after how many years?
2 years.
2 years, and then do what? I know you said, but what's their job?
Each one has a different job. So we do have doctors that are actually students, and we do have pharmacists.
Oh, I see. Those people already have jobs. This is just for I see what you
definitely,
mean.
definitely. They already have jobs.
I see.
It's just empowering them with knowledge to be able to go wherever they're at.
Whatever they're doing, they have the impact. I like that because more pragmatic and more also, it's not taken on the whole world.
Exactly. You can't live alienated from the different communities and put yourself as if you're basically on.
It's not your problem.
It's not your problem. You're alienated. In fact, most of our students are actually students at the U of M. Most of them are students at the U of M.
What's the story there? What's the moral of?
I have no idea why.
You closer to the U of M?
I'm not sure. We're actually in Northeast Minneapolis, so I guess perhaps.
Well, that's interesting. U of M is a huge place, but it's interesting. I thought you would be nice. But you decided to be just for women.
We decided to be for women. Yep.
And I'm sure
why for women?
I know that. The obvious reason, empowering women and all that, but what is the practical reason?
The practical reason is because I actually felt that within the Muslim community, men get to actually have a lot of access to scholars. And the Muslim community, like other communities, male or men tend to dominate the different specialties. And there is that separation between the Muslim women and the rest of the scholars. So I felt as a shaykh and somebody that is actually specialized in Islam, I felt, okay, well, I want to remove the barrier between Muslim women and science, Islamic studies, and between Muslim women and those that have the Islamic studies, and I want them to come in and actually do it.
And this is not an Islamic thing. This is societal.
Oh, it's
everywhere.
definitely not. I'm right now speaking on TV. If I was supposed to be alienated, if I were supposed to be not in
We
public,
don't have
I wouldn't have
somebody like
actually.
you that often. We've been doing this for some years, so we're really very excited and very thankful that you come in and talking to us. And I'm sure there is. How about your relationship with the existing institution, mainstream? They're trying to do the same thing because this is also non-Muslim American women facing the same, this ceiling gaps and discrimination and the whole. Sex industry targeting women body and all that, so they are under assault of some sort.
Well, there's definitely lots of racism, or let me say discrimination, because racism means something else, but discrimination against Muslim women specifically, because Muslim women are different than Muslim men. Muslim men, you can't really tell if he's can blend in, and you can't really tell if he's Muslim or not. But for Muslim women, there's no way that you can confuse me to being a Sikh.
At least the Orthodoxy
or being,
one.
of course. So for Muslim women, they tend to be the flag that speaks in the community. We're actually Muslim, and that's why I felt, because we're women, I guess we have a hidden potential. The hidden potential is that you Muslim women, always you walk in the street and always somebody comes up to you and says, ma'am, why do you cover your face? Ma'am, why do you dress like that? Ma'am, what is Islam?
Why you uncover your
why
face?
do you, exactly. So you get a lot of these questions, and if you actually get these questions, it actually becomes a very good place for teaching Islam if we actually had these flags educated enough to actually answer these questions.
So what do people should handle those kind of ignorant, kind of silly questions?
Well, most of the times I would say, we're not talking about individual cases, because for individual cases, you could actually, if you're actually walking in the street and somebody, just all of a sudden hits you, you're not going to say, well, I've got a pamphlet for you. You're not going to be saying that. So before we deal with individual cases,
how do you deal with?
CARE did a very good job on that, and CARE actually does a lot of good things on that.
But this is kind of casual.
Right. We're not talking about individual cases. I believe that it's very important to spread awareness when people are calm. When people are calm, you can talk to people.
Interesting.
When somebody's angry, it's not the right time to speak. The person's not going to be listening.
Yeah. I like that.
And that's why we decided, go to schools, go to universities, go to hospitals, go to prisons, long term, and bring about the awareness and remove those stereotypes by having that person-to-person communication in where they can actually talk to you and ask you and really feel that, I'm a human just like you. I'm a woman just like you. I go through different situations just like you. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a teacher. I have potentials. I have goals that I want to achieve just like you.
It's interesting that I found in my own humble experience that Muslim women that, get with the dress, niqab, hijab, they're very strong personality. Obviously, from the way you talk, when you think this is, comes from a very strong woman. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing. How you were raised. People, your family treat you different than your brothers and all that.
I would say a great thanks to my mother. My mother was a Catholic. My grandmother was a Catholic nun for 17 years. And subhanAllah, when my mother grew up...
So you were not raised as a Muslim?
My mother became Muslim later on.
Oh, I see.
So she was actually born in Chicago. With that situation, that dynamic, and my mother really had a large impact on me and how to actually be strong and how to actually, if you believe in something, even if people dislike it. If you believe in something and you believe that that's what you should be doing, as long as you're through it with your